Our next award is a recently added addition to our presentation here tonight. There is a gentleman that used to travel from Japan to attend this Fan Fest every year. His name was Shuhei Aoki. And last year, mere days after Fan Fest 4, Shu suddenly and tragically passed away. So Joe Bruin has instituted the Shuhei Aoki Humanitarian Award for 2015, awarded to Shu himself. We will make sure that his family receives his plaque. But at this time, here to speak on behalf of this award is his friends, Ryan Morgan, our good friend Christine Coons, and the mayor of Manciniville, Mario Mancini.
No, please, no pictures. Hi. Shu, you might have seen him around. I had met him during the convention. Yeah, I worked the convention circuit, taking photos of all the legends and the rookies and everybody else. And there's always, I mean, it's not just the workers that are family, but also we bond with those fans. We look forward to meeting at gatherings like this. I mean, it's just an incredible family vibe, whether you're a fan or a worker. And the memories there turn it not into just an event. It becomes just a reunion of love, of the passion that we all share. Don't mind me, just a photographer, no work. And his passing had affected so many people that he was just a wonderful, wonderful person. I always look forward to seeing him, whether it was in Charlotte or California or here. And I remember one of the first Fan Fests that I had attended with Joe's, and Shu had come all the way out from Japan, and he was looking around, and we were going through the inductions, and he was so excited to meet bad boy Billy Black. So when he finally found out that, okay, this is our New England standout Billy Black, not the Billy Black of before, or the, please bear with me. He was just so disappointed, but it just became a funny story that every time I would see him at a convention, I'd be like, "Are you here to see Billy Black?" He'd blush away and go, "Ah, ha, ha." But he would always come bearing gifts for all of his friends, never ask for anything in return. We would run into him, go, "Hey, where are you going next?" And he'd say, "Well, I'm going to take a cab. I'm going here. I'm going there. Do you need a ride?" "No, I'm all set." So we'd have to insist, "Hey, let's go to the show." "Okay." And he was just such a pleasant person and just such a wonderful person to see every time. I miss him dearly. He would always bring, my husband and I would always have something we would fill his suitcases back up with our merchandise he would bring to Japan with him and get them signed for us. And he would just come back, he really didn't mind, and he always insisted he help us out. And he was just such a wonderful person, never asked for anything in return. But we always felt, hey, we want to do whatever we can to help you out too. But that's just, the love we all shared. I miss him dearly, dearly. I really was looking forward. I had gone to Japan the first time this past year, and I was so excited after last year's Fan Fest. You know, that's all I talked to him about. I talked his ear about, what are we going to do? Where are you going to take me? What are we going to see? And it just didn't happen. It was just such a shock that he was no longer with us. And it not only affected just me, my fellow fan friends, his favorite people, but just several different people. I just want to end it with a couple words from one of my publishers. I have a couple words from Greg Oliver, who is a wrestling writer for Slam Wrestling. And I just want to share his story. So he had the honor of presenting Shu with the Red Bastien Friendship Award in Las Vegas at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion in April of 2009. And he had lots of great adventures with Shu, from tracking down Goldie Rogers in a small Ontario town, to listening to Sweet Daddy Siki do karaoke, to being his translator for an interview with Ghost Shiozaki in Iowa. He had a tremendous charm to him and a shyness that he had perfected with his broken English and deferring nature. There are a few who didn't know him in the wrestling business, as he made friends easily, and wrestlers were always game to let him come into their lives and their homes. And I mean, and there's even a photo of him having a foam sword fight with Greg's son that's hanging in his living room. And that's really a testament that this business can result in some very enduring friendships. And he is just greatly missed. And that's it. That's it for me. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Years ago, this event wasn't as big as it is today. It was held in East Providence, and I was on the phone with Joe, and he said, "You're not going to believe this. There's a fan that's coming all the way from Japan just to see the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame." And I thought that was amazing, and I really didn't believe it until I saw him walk into the building that summer. And I had the privilege to get to know him. I learned that he had taken a taxi from his hotel to the venue, and I said, "Shu, don't worry, as long as you come to the convention, I'll take care of all your transportation. That's the least we can do for you coming all that way." And I not only drove him around to the wrestling events, but I got to know him, and I took him out to some of the local flavor around town, stuff like Dell's Lemonade and stuff that he never would have been able to try in Japan. And he's just more than just a great wrestling fan. I mean, it didn't matter who you were, where you wrestled. He wanted to talk wrestling with you. He had such a passion for it. It was amazing. And more than that, he was just a great human being, just so positive. You just loved being around him. Never had a bad thing to say about anybody. And I'd just like to finish off. Joe did a great thing for him at the XWA event a couple of years ago. Around intermission time, Joe kept it secret from almost everybody except the promoter and a few of the security around the ring. And around intermission, he made an announcement to the whole crowd, about 1,000 people in the audience, and said that we have a very special guest in the audience. And he introduced Shu, and he came down the aisle just like a wrestler and went into the ring and everything. And he couldn't have been more thrilled. It was very thrilling for me to see that. And he might as well have been in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania. He was so excited to have had that moment. And I wish he could be here this year. But hopefully with this humanitarian award, he'll live on through this event in spirit forever. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I had a whole speech prepared, but I made a huge mistake, and I walked over to this venue at Cornet, and he gave me this riddle, and it just screwed me all up. So I kind of, no. Today was a happy day and a sad day, because today was very different, because there was no shoe. I'm going to go over a very short genesis. I hope it's short. I left the wrestling business behind me, decided to pursue law, and I had my memories and basically just left everything alone until I decided to make a Facebook. And this gentleman that hosted a local wrestling show in Wallingford, Connecticut, his name was Mike, Mr. Trivia Kanata, who's present tonight with us, asked me if I would do his show. And I said, no, I would not like to do your show. And he said, please, will you do the show? It'd be fun. And I said, no, I really don't want to do it. So I ended up doing it anyway. And at that show was a gentleman called Hollywood J. Williams and another gentleman who I didn't know I was going to become very dear friends with. His name is Mike Fogman of Vitable. Well, again, a short genesis. Mike ended up giving Joe Bruin my phone number. Joe Bruin called me at my office and said, in 2013, and said, I would like you to attend the Fan Fest 3. And I said, no, thank you. I would not like to attend. And he said, oh, well, why not? I said, I just don't want to go. The truth of the matter is I thought to myself, if I attended this thing and I signed 2 autographs in 8 hours, I would be mortified. I would just hide my head in the sand and want to go home. That's why I don't want to go. He then said, there's a gentleman coming all the way from Japan to see you. I said, he's coming all the way from Japan just to see me. And I'm not even booked on the thing. He said, that's right. And I'm going to use the immortal words of my mentor and my second father, who I miss every day of my life. Chief J. Strongbow. And I said, Joe, don't give me the gaga. Right, Howard? I said, don't give me the gaga. He's not coming all the way to Japan to see me. And he said, yeah, absolutely is. And I have that kind of personality that I'm thinking about it, and now I feel compelled to go. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll go. So I went to Fan Fest 3, and I'm sitting there, and a couple hours into it, I look, and there's a very confused Oriental man in the middle of the room. And he's going. And then he made eye contact with me, and he shot right to my table, screaming, Mancini, 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 Mancini. I said, yeah, you must be Shu. And he said, I'm Shu. I come all the way from Japan to see you. I fly into Providence. I took a bus here and then took a cab here. See you. I go, see me. Yeah. I said, well, here's everything for free. And I kept going like this. And he just kept going. He had a smile that lit up the whole room. And then he yelled at me and went, how come you never come to Japan? I go, I never was booked, Shu. Sorry. We love you in Japan. I go, thank you. He gave me a pair of chopsticks. And, you know, when Joe asked me to go, and I really didn't go, I'm glad I did. Another way Joe got me there, he said, you have to come because you made the second edition of the WWE Encyclopedia. And I said, I did? He said, yeah, I have it right here. And I said, really? What's it say? And he read to me what it said. And I said, they said all that great stuff about me? And he said, yeah. And I ran to Barnes & Noble and I opened up the encyclopedia. And that's when I realized he did give me the gaga and I missed it. Because it didn't say all that great stuff about me, did it, Gene? No, it didn't. But as Joe said, he did that because he wanted to bring me home, and Joe Bruin has certainly brought me home to New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Still overwhelmed by my induction last year. Shu was in the front row, beaming, last year when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Again, when he came to my table last year, I just gave him everything I could give him. And he was just a very special individual. You know, ladies and gentlemen, for you who are not professional wrestlers, fans are in such awe, especially when you're on TV every week. Even if your match is lasting shorter than it takes for you to go to the bathroom, you're on TV and fans are in awe to meet you when they meet you in person. I mean, you could see it in their face. They're just in awe to meet you. Shu was one of those fans that the wrestler was in awe to meet him. You really were. We